Greetings, fellow humans. Katrina here. Quick disclaimer, I am a professional. I'm not your professional. Anything that I'm about to say should not be taken as medical, legal, or otherwise advice. This podcast is purely for educational and entertainment purposes only. That is it. Disclaimer over. So I'd like to talk today a continuation of what I talked about last week. I talked about what I didn't know about red flags. And this week, I thought I'd talk about what I don't know about green flags or green lights, whatever you want to call it, in relationships. Things that let you know to continue, pursue, go ahead with continued interactions with whoever it is that you're in a relationship with. So this isn't just about romantic relationships. This is about any relationship. I want to give a quick shout out, though, to the resource that I used from this. I got this information from Sawtooth Mountain Clinic, which is a wonderful nonprofit up in Minnesota. And I included my reference in the previous show notes episode, but in case you don't read that, I thought I would go ahead and just give them a shout out. Sawtooth Mountain Clinic, thank you so much for the work that you do. And I noticed that they referenced in their material John Gottman. Now, if you don't know that name and you're in a relationship, go look him up. He's one of the biggest names in psychology regarding relationships and studying relationships. I think Gottman was even the one who developed the 4 horsemen of divorce. So they say if you have those 4 things in a relationship, then they can kind of predict within the first 15 minutes of watching a couple interact whether or not they're going to get a divorce. So I think the 4 horsemen, if memory serves, is defensiveness, contempt, stonewalling, and I forget the 4th one off the top of my head, but that's a topic for another time. For now, I'll go into what some of those green lights are in relationships. And it's important to know what green lights are. There's a point to it. And the point is that, so number 1, you can choose to engage in those actions yourself. And number 2, identify and when possible, decide to be around people that offer those positive behaviors to you. So that's the point of the green lights. So the first green light I'll talk about is respect. In healthy relationships, healthy relationships are grounded in feelings of admiration and esteem. Respect is demonstrated when we talk to somebody kindly and truthfully, and when we act in ways that show we value their time and opinions. Another green flag is trust. When we trust someone, we believe that they have good intentions and feel safe with them. They're dependable, and we know that they'll act in our best interest even when we're apart. Communication. This is a big one. Good communication means being straightforward, even when it's uncomfortable, in ways that the other person can absorb and understand. It's talking frequently, openly, calmly, respectfully, and rationally. Another green flag is honesty. So good communication is also about being honest. That means telling the truth in a timely manner, all of the truth. Another green flag is patience. We all get thrown off balance and make mistakes. That is part of being human. Healthy relationships take this into account and respond gently and with compassion. So the next time your spouse is giving you attitude, you might think of that as data about their day and turn towards them and ask something helpful rather than responding defensively. Another green flag is flexibility. Life can be chaotic, but healthy relationships have the ability to shift, flex, and go with the flow. Empathy is another green flag. So it's important to be able and willing to put yourself in someone else's position and imagine their perspective, even if you disagree with their opinions. That's a hard one. Sometimes people get so wrapped up in their opinions or beliefs that they can't even imagine sitting in the chair across from them, maybe even playing devil's advocate. That's not feasible. Back to the green lights. Another green light is reciprocity. So in a solid relationship, people do what they can for others in a balanced, equal, but not necessarily identical ways. Appreciation is another green flag. That's noticing someone's kind actions and then intentionally expressing that gratitude. And what this does is it lets people know that they're being seen and valued. Another green flag or green light is room for growth. People grow and change and need the room and safety to do that. In a strong relationship, it's safe to ask questions, take risks, give honest feedback, and make mistakes. Another green flag is individuality and boundaries. It's also safe to be distinct individuals. Tongue-tied. I meant to say, it's also safe to be distinct individuals with separate interests, goals, friends, and hobbies. So it's important that these differences are appreciated and encouraged, not stifled and belittled. Lastly, a green flag is healthy conflict resolution. That's right. Even the strongest and healthiest relationships will have some disagreements. If you're not arguing, you're probably not communicating at all. If you're not disagreeing on something, then you might be shoving it under the rug and building up some sort of resentment. So being able and willing to discuss things that are difficult or upsetting, while at the same time remaining respectful and empathetic, keeps relationships resilient. So again, I'd like to say a special thank you to the Sawtooth Mountain Clinic in Minnesota. I appreciate the infographic that helped me disseminate this information in a somewhat entertaining way. So if you want to support the show, you can click the website on the button or Cash App Katrina Dragon. And as always, I do appreciate each and every one of you simply for existing.